It's Russ Curtis, professor of counseling. Thanks for joining me today. I just wanted to summarize an article that was published this summer by several professors, a couple of them from Harvard. And at the end, I'll give you my explanation why I think this was dropped at the time it was. The quote at the top is from a retired Army colonel, and you can get this from the article itself. But just to give you the title of this, the crypto-terrestrial hypothesis. Crypto meaning secret or secret society, and terrestrial meaning of the earth. Ultimately, in this article, what they're saying is that we need to be open-minded about the possibility that we may already have non-human intelligent beings already within the earth, underneath the oceans, and so forth. So essentially, that's what they are arguing in this paper, which was non-refereed, which was interesting. So I'll talk about that later. However, it did get national attention. Ultimately, what they're saying is UAPs are possibly already been here within the earth. Okay, so that these things are seen fly out of the ocean or maybe out of volcanoes and so forth. They are talking about how myths in our history and archaeological findings would suggest that at least non-human entities have been here if they're not here already and already living here. And then they just kind of argue that there's a lot of gaps in our knowledge base. The missing link, for example, and that the ocean has not really been explored. So there could be plenty of stuff there, and deep within the earth has really not been explored. So ultimately what they're saying is, hey, be open-minded about the fact that we may already have intelligent non-human species living amongst us. They're just not interacting very rapidly. However, they may be, but we're covering it up. And that leads me to the next thing that was in this article. A lot of quotes from retired intelligence and military officers. And one of them comes from saying that there are folks that really fear this becoming public, and that they are trying to keep it under wraps because they fear it. Now, there's other folks who say, nah, if we do have contact, they're here to help. They're here to help us evolve. And, a little bit of both might be true, okay? So you do have kind of both going on here. A lot of fascinating quotes. The other thing is, why did they drop this summer? Why did a non-refereed article get so much attention in the media? I think to some extent, maybe the military and intelligence agencies are like, hey, we need to start warming the public up. And maybe that's why they had that 60-minute show. I guess I can't remember when that was, back in early 2023, about the Navy fighter pilots talking about these unusual craft they're seeing. I think there's some warming up happening because they do think that if there was like a landing or obvious, direct contact, that it would create a lot of anxiety and maybe even mass hysteria. So I think there's some warming up happening. I know there's been a lot of phenomenon lately, a lot of lights being seen in the sky. What does this have to do with mental health? Since I'm a mental health counselor. I think it gets back to the fact of that, this is related to maybe a lot of things that we've been taught are not exactly as they are. And, maybe knowing more about who we truly are, we can move forward in honesty and authenticity. And this will help clearly with mental health if we know who we are and we can move forward with proper information. So anyway, I think there's a lot that we could be said about this, but that's kind of my take at this point. Be sure to check out the article. Really some cool quotes. People that are just like, yep, this has been going on. This is why it's been kept secret. All right, good people. Talk to you on the next video. Take good care.